Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a round of applause.
Schieß Einsatzstelle absichern. Medic, ein Patient im blauen Fahrzeug. Yeah. Yeah.
So they are currently conducting their 360-degree reconnaissance, walking around the vehicle, assessing it for potential hazards, and they are establishing contact with the casualty that's inside the vehicle.
Jawohl, ist verstanden. Die Feuerlöscher müssen gleich woanders hin. Was sagst du? Kann ich dran? Du kannst dran. Auto safe. Alles klar. Tools? Ja.
Incident commander has rallied the team. They've come together to establish a first plan. It should be about stabilization. How are they going to create a stable whole entity of this incident? It's obviously a tricky one with the car here, the blue one down under, which is against the barriers, making it hard to access the casualty. And then the other one on top of it, that needs to be stabilized first before they can get anywhere near the casualty, as this is an unsafe scene. They need to create it a safe scene so they can work around the vehicle.
Nein, ist komplett zu, das Auto. Frag mal wegen alternativen Kraftstoffen. Können wir da hinten abstützen? Ne? Ja, ist gut, mach mal.
So again, this is a team that is partially professional fire department and partially voluntary. Another mix, just like the other team we had earlier today. Very good to see that mixture.
Zum Kotzen hier, das funktioniert nicht. Alles klar, die Handschuhe taugen noch nichts. Alles klar, der Blau ist gesichert. Du gehst zu Yannick. Alles klar. Yannick, ein Mann kommt zu dir. Du, wie weit sind die anderen mit unterbauen? Du kannst schon mal Glasmanagement vorbereiten. Einmal komplett drumherum. Den kompletten blauen, genau.
They're starting with their stabilization. Obviously, you can see the V-struts against the car that's on its roof. They're tying that down first. And in the meantime, they're looking after the casualty, trying to assess what the injuries are.
Klappt das bei euch, ja, ne? Ja. Wer hat gerufen? Habt ihr gerufen? Nein. Gut. Habt ihr gerufen? Ja, Yannick. Ja.
Paul, another group of rescue gladiators, brothers in arms. You never know, obviously, when that pager goes off, what you're up to. There might just be a car crash or up because somebody broke back his mountain. What do you think of the start? How is it going?
I think it's a great start. They've got a lot of momentum in there, but it's a trade-off. Speed against a good access technique.
Thanks.
Pass auf, dass das dann nicht runterfällt. Hol mal Schafgartenschutz. Ja, wenn Schmidt da weg ist, kannst du machen. Schafgartenschutz, dass er hinten gleich reinkommt.
Steve, know you a little bit by now, so you're probably going to say too early to tell, but can you give us a first assessment?
Yeah, okay, so we've seen one thing that we've only seen once in this challenge so far. Flat tyre block in there. Creates a very stable platform. Slow release of the tyres there, so it won't have any effects on the casualty. Personally, I like to see that. There are considerations, obviously, police and things like that, but this is casualty-centred, it's a rescue, and it's not a police operation as far as that's concerned. So I like to see that sort of thing. Good work there, getting the strut underneath the vehicle without going into the drop zone. Again, you know, this is a very dangerous, potentially dangerous situation here. That car could slide backwards. So we just need to stop that rocking effect there. But so far, so good.
Thanks, Steve. Obviously, what Steve is talking about is it's not just fire and rescue who have a role at the scene. It's also police. They like to investigate exactly what has been going on. So if you deflate tires, it does create a very stable platform to work off, but it also takes away the tracks that the police will look after to assess what's really going on. So that's obviously always a trade-off.
Nein, das reicht so. Also die Plan ist hinten, die Türen aufzumachen. Dann macht ihr jetzt komplett das Glas kaputt. Er kriegt diese Tür nicht auf.
Tony, it's the first assessment of the casualty been made.
So the medic's actually been talking to the casualty from outside of the car, obviously assessing him for his injuries, what he can see, and now he's actually going in to do his further assessment to see what he needs and how he's going to get him out, really.
Thank you.
Hier noch ein bisschen Holz runter. Ja, ist verstanden. Nicht hier noch ein bisschen Holz runter, Motorhaube.
Okay,
Ja, komplett. Schmidi, er klemmt im Beinbereich, ne? Janik?
Ja?
Kannst du mir schon mal nähere Infos
Zieh mal
geben?
eben die Fahrertür, die Beifahrertür.
So with me here is When. When, you are our pit manager. That's mean that you and the team with Martin and Hanno have created all of these scenarios. What have you created for us today?
Yeah, good afternoon. Last scenario, last runoff. Car on its roof, which is very unstable. The driver in the blue car is located here in the front. So he's underneath the car on its roof. Stabilization is very important. Creating access, creating working space to remove the casualty from the car. Very challenging. Strong, very strong car with many challenges.
Thank you. So as you can see, they're putting a transparent foil over the windows. They do that so that all of the glasses are tied down. As soon as they break glass, then all of the fragments will be with the laminated transparent foil. That will hold it together so they can remove all of the glass at once.
Schmidi, klappt das da?
Der Sitz ist elektrisch verstellbar, ich habe ihn ganz runtergefahren. Mehr geht nicht. Wir haben auch keine
Ist der elektrisch?
Der ist elektrisch.
Funktioniert das? Die Batterie angeklemmt?
Nein.
Okay. Ja, alles klar. Janik?
Ronald, you are our
Wie ist der
challenge
Patient
coordinator. This is the last scenario, the last one of the challenge. How do you feel about the
Kann er
challenge?
übernehmen? Soll ich ihn hier rumschicken?
Ja, Timo kann jetzt.
Yeah, we feel very lucky that we were able to organize this challenge. And indeed the last one, that means this is scenario number 20, team number 20. And if you look back on that, 20 scenarios on this area with brand new BMWs, it's insane. We are very, very proud and happy that we could organize an event like this with 20 different scenarios.
Isn't it a bit of a shame to destroy these brand new BMWs? Shouldn't they have been given to a lucky driver?
Yeah, you would say so, but in fact those BMWs, they are production cars that are produced for testing, so prototyping, testing of different parts. So they were never meant to be on the road at all, and they were meant for recycling. And we are lucky enough to be using them for just today.
Thank you, Ronald.
Machst du Sample?
Ja, ist gut. Schmidt, warte.
So as we can see, they have packaged the whole car. They've removed the back window for initial access. That allows them to talk to the medic who is inside, attending the needs of the casualty. They've also opened one of the doors, creating first initial access. Paul, is that door also open for rapid extraction, for the great escape?
Not really, no. I think they've got to create quite a bit more space in there.
Zur Info, es sind 10 Minuten vorbei.
He's working on his plan.
Janik, 10
Let's see
Minuten
where he's
sind
going, but they need to create a bit more space before we can get there.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, Stuart, we have oxygen for you. I put it here.
Steve, your first assessment of the work around the car, now that stabilization has been finished?
Okay, Stuart.
Yeah, I think they're just about to put another little addition into the stabilisation there. But we've now got the plans, and they're all viable plans, so it's good. We'll see what the progression route is with that one. Yeah, so far so good. You can see there's the extra bit going in now, just to stop the car potentially sliding when we take out further operations. As you know, BMW's a lot of impact when we cut through with the Holmatro tools there, you know. That could potentially destabilise something. So they've just made sure now and strapped it down there. It's not going to go that way.
Thanks, Steve. So obviously when they start making their cuts and spreads, they are weakening the car that they are working on, and that could create a potential unstable situation. That's why they are doing a bit of extra stabilization and checking all of the stabilization again to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. Ihr könnt den höchstens da unten. Ja, wie alt ist er? Okay. Stuart? How old are you?
Ja, ist verstanden. So, Spreizer Rücksitz von runter.
Hast du mit? Ja. Okay. Gut.
So tief es geht.
Wir nehmen keine Medikamente, keine Allergien.
Okay.
The orange blankets that you see, those are sharp edge protections. They are put in place to cover up all the sharps. Obviously for the rescuers they need a safe working environment as well. So these are put in there to make sure that nobody gets hurt.
Are you smoking or drink alcohol? Okay.
Okay. Atmung ist ganz normal, er kann ganz normal ein- und ausatmen.
Okay. 12 a minute, the breathing?
Ja.
Okay.
Meint ihr Tunnel reicht? Rücksitz mal runter oder oben einstellen? Oder oben einstellen?
I feel the pulse.
Ja.
The pulse is by 90, is it correct?
112. 112.
Okay. Your
Can you
pain.
give us a short
Where's your
update, Tony?
Medic is assessing the casualty as we speak. He has another helper in there. I think he's just waiting for the tools crews. Once they've done their work, then they'll start looking at extricating. Seems to be doing okay at the moment.
The pain.
Thank you.
On a scale from 1.
So they've got 2 rescuers inside, attending to the needs of the casualty.
Low pain.
They are also assessing his injuries, because obviously the injuries of the casualty dictate their extrication plan. So once the assessment is done, they'll communicate with the incident commander what the injuries are and what they think is the best method to get this casualty out, and then they'll get the tools to use and create that part of extrication they need.
Das heißt, Timo geht gleich auf den Beifahrersitz, ja? Magnus?
Ja.
Magnus?
Ja, okay. Don't be afraid, yeah?
Janek hat sie gerufen, ich bin hier.
Ja, Magnus, was wäre, wenn wir auf der Beifahrerseite rausgehen?
Bitte? Zur Beifahrerseite raus, wir kriegen die Tür nicht auf, da liegt das andere Auto drauf.
Wie bitte?
Da liegt das Auto drauf, wir kriegen das andere Auto nicht
Ah,
raus.
okay.
Wir können höchstens zur Fahrerseite B-Säule wegschneiden.
Ja, nee, dann nicht. Steve, the light is on your eyes.
Ja?
Okay, both prompt and...
Eco. Reactive.
Okay, both, okay.
Ja.
Okay, dann habe ich quasi alles. The recap time?
Paul, we can see the tools in place. Is there a plan formulated?
Yeah, there's a plan formulated.
Okay, dann würde ich jetzt...
Managed to get the identity of the car using the Moditech system on his iPad. That's allowed him to highlight the risks on the vehicle,
Ich würde jetzt so lange noch eben...
pass them down to his crew, so now they're making that plan.
Janik,
Looks
wir
like
haben
it's been
16
some
Minuten
promise
um,
on
mein
them.
Vorschlag ist Planänderung.
Okay.
Wir
Does
schneiden die
the
B-Säule, neue
shining of
Beordnung.
the sun do anything in these scenarios?
Yeah, it does. It's really difficult as that, but we could do with some black in here really to sort that one out.
Aufhören,
Thanks, Paul.
den Beifahrersitz runterklappen, wir ziehen den nach hinten rechts aus.
You become a stiff neck?
Janik, wir machen jetzt die Rettung nach hinten rechts.
Okay, hinten rechts. Machst du das drum?
Steve, we can see the tools being used inside the vehicle. What is it they are trying to achieve?
15 Minuten.
Yeah, so at the moment we're trying to look at some internal space, create that space so the casualty can come out through a decent enough gap in the car there. And then I think that once they've done that with the spreaders, probably take the ram in there, they're going to then work on the external space and should get us to a final extrication.
Thanks, Steve. Was hältst du davon? Geht es gut?
Ja, also die versuchen jetzt, die haben ihren Plan geändert und versuchen das jetzt hinten rechts über die Tür. Und das ist Leben in der Lage. Die Pläne haben sich jetzt geändert und sie sind jetzt umgeswitcht, um die Zeit natürlich einzuhalten, 20 Minuten, und gehen jetzt hinten rechts über die Tür.
Hat das Team viel geübt?
Ja, definitiv. Also die haben dieses Jahr auch bei der Deutschen Meisterschaft teilgenommen in Neuburg an der Donau und haben auch den 4. Platz besetzt.
Ah, das ist gut. Ja. Da sind sie gut präpariert.
Ja, die sind sehr gut vorbereitet. Die haben sehr oft geübt, auch in dieser Zusammensetzung. Und das, also ich drücke denen die Daumen.
Danke.
Stuart?
Ja,
Is everything okay?
ja.
Okay. Your car is like a tank.
Okay.
So they've done a lot of practice, is what their colleague was saying. They have also participated in a few challenges in Germany, and the last one in Nuremberg, they actually got to 4th place, which is a great achievement, obviously. So a lot of preparation has been done before they went to this challenge.
Ja, also GCS würde ich ihn auch bei 15 einordnen.
Stabilization is being rechecked, as you can see. They are constantly monitoring if that car is tied back down enough so it doesn't shift while they're working, which is obviously very dangerous if that would happen.
Okay, so dann Spineboard ansetzen. Timo? Ja, du musst gleich ein bisschen nach hinten. Hier kann man ziehen.
Hallo? Hallo? Brauchen wir nicht mehr? Brauchen wir nicht mehr das Beinboard ransetzen?
Timo, weg
Kriegen
da.
wir den Fahrersitz, die Rücksitzbank umgeklappt?
Einer muss auf die Fahrerseite, daran.
They've created space inside, and what you can see now is the spinal board being brought in. They'll put that behind the casualty, lift them up just a little bit when they're ready to go,
Medic hat
and
das
then
Kommando!
they'll slide him onto the spinal board and get him out of the vehicle.
Lass los. Warte, nein. Okay, loslassen. Ja.
Handschuhe
Einer muss
aus.
an die Beifahrerseite hinten. Jo. Okay, Druck. Hier kann man gucken. Da kann man den Sitz hochziehen. So, drück mal nach unten. Das musst du da machen. Timo, du bleibst da. Da so bleiben, Timo. Okay, Sitz nach hinten. Komm.
Fertig?
Okay. Die Puppe am Seat. Ja.
Gut. Geht der Sitz? Negativ, hier geht er
Wer zieht denn jetzt da hoch?
Klappt das?
Nein, geht nicht. Klappt das? Woran Sitz geht nicht.
Wie geht der nicht?
Pump den nach unten. Pump den nach unten. Du kannst im letzten Nebel.
Well, it's obviously hard for us to look inside the vehicle. It's also hard to get the camera in. Can you give us an inception of what's going on?
I think using these Holmatro tools, everybody wins.
Okay. So, Patient nach
They're a
hinten.
great piece of kit that creates some great space within their vehicles.
Okay, du ins Becken greifen da.
Yeah,
Hier ins
working
Becken.
hard.
Ich hab die Schulter. Okay,
You,
Patient. Jetzt
You
hoch
think
in
they're
Timos
going to get
Richtung.
the person out through that door?
Das
I think
ganz
so, yeah.
normal,
I
20
think they'll
Zentimeter.
they'll
1,
bring that
2,
through that
3.
side. Whether that's the best plan or not, I'm not sure.
Thank you. So probably in a few minutes from now we'll see the casualty being extricated.
Okay, das ganz normal. 1, 2, 3. Okay, kommen wir jetzt ein bisschen um die Kurve. Spineboard ein bisschen runter. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Kannst du das Becken da greifen?
Noch einmal, dann kann ich den Kopf übernehmen.
Ja, genau. 1, 2, 3.
Ich übernehme den Kopf.
Ja, okay. Magnus, kannst du ein bisschen ziehen an den Schultern?
Nee, ich hab den Kopf.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Du musst hier weg übernehmen.
Das ganz normal.
Soll ich 3 sagen?
1, 2, 3. Okay, ist er drauf?
Patient ist drauf. Alle mal hier rüber.
Okay.
Ich kann nicht raus.
Ich hab den Kopf.
Ja, dann das Spineboard weiter auf die Kante legen.
Wir können noch rausführen.
Ja, du übernimmst den Kopf. Alles klar.
1, 2, 3.
Casualty is coming out now.
Stopp. Ich lasse nicht
Okay,
vergessen.
einer rum.
Kannst du hier da? Kannst du da? Gut, alles klar.
Magnus?
Ja.
They're getting all the medical equipment out of the car. The casualty is on the spinal board. We'll see him getting out of the car any moment now. Make sure that you give him a good round of applause when he's out.
Ich lass los.
Zur Ablage.
There's the casualty, ladies and gentlemen. And there's the whistle too. That's the end of this scenario. Also die erste Frage, wie war es?
Es war auf jeden Fall sehr anstrengend, weil schön warm und neue Fahrzeuge sind natürlich ordentliche Herausforderungen auch für uns. Ne? Beim Üben immer nur mit den alten Fahrzeugen vom Schrott geübt. Jetzt hier mal die Möglichkeit, an nagelneuen Fahrzeugen zu schneiden, das ist schon was anderes, als wenn man jetzt hier einen 20, 25 Jahre alten Opel liegen hat.
So it's hot, it is really hot here outside. It was a great opportunity to work on these brand new cars. It's an opportunity you don't get very often, so it's really good to get your hands on new vehicles. Was war das Schwierigste für Sie?
Ja, das Schwierigste war in diesem Fall, dass man den Sitz nicht nach hinten bekommen hat, weil er halt voll elektrisch verstellbar war und die Batterien nicht, also das Fahrzeug war stromlos und den Sitz nach hinten zu bekommen, das war die große Herausforderung.
Okay, danke. Jetzt möchten wir gerne von das Technikteam hören. So he's saying it was hard to get inside the vehicle. It was already also very hard to find the battery and get that disengaged. Proving to get space inside this vehicle was really hard. And the next we'll hear from is the technical team. Und für Sie, wie war es?
Es war sehr warm. Eine gute Lage, sage ich mal, mit einer Stabilisation von dem einen Fahrzeug. Die Person war unten in dem kleinen Fahrzeug drin. War eine gute Aufgabe. Man musste richtig überlegen, wie wir ihn rauskriegen. Zum Schluss haben wir ihn durch die Tür rausgeholt, weil das für uns die einzige Möglichkeit war, den erstmal schnell da rauszubekommen.
Danke. So he's saying it was a tough job, not just because of the heat, but also to get space inside that little narrow vehicle. Obviously, when a person isn't trapped in there and you're trying to get in there with two medics, there's not a lot of space left. So getting the person out in an easy and a fashionable way, that was always going to be tricky, and it proved to be tricky. The medic. Ja. Und für Sie war es auch so ein bisschen heiß in das Fahrzeug?
Ja, die Klimaanlage ging nicht, es war verdammt heiß da drin.
Wie war es mit den Opfern?
War gut, also die Kommunikation hat gut geklappt. Ich kam am Anfang nicht richtig dran, das hat natürlich ein bisschen Zeit gekostet. Als wir dann irgendwann drin waren, hat das eigentlich da drin ganz gut geklappt.
Danke sehr. So, he's saying he established good contact with the casualty inside the vehicle, and then obviously when he got into the car, the air conditioning wasn't on, so it was even hotter. Once he was in the car, he could make a good assessment of the injuries of the casualty. He was conscious, so he could discuss with the casualty what exactly the injuries were, where he was feeling the pain. After that, he communicated this with the incident commander, and they formulated the plan and got him out. That's obviously the most important. This was our last scenario, but before you go, the award session. That's going to be in a few more moments. We'll count up all the points and then we'll come back for the award ceremony, so stay tuned.